Hi, Laura. Hi, Carly.
Hi. Okay, Laura, you had a question?
Yes, Veronique, I understand that you have some experience with AI, and so I wanted to know if you have any tips on how to use AI to make my job search more efficient.
Okay. Uh, so I do have some. I've been playing around with AI. So what I'm going to try to do, because I use Copilot, because the free version is connected to the web, and the way I've been using it is in conjunction with LinkedIn. Have you ever used Copilot before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of give you a brief overview of how to get there and where it is and all of that. If you have Microsoft Edge and you're on Windows, you should be having Copilot right now. So let me kind of start sharing my screen.
I do have Microsoft Edge, so I'm hoping that I will be able to find the Copilot that you're talking about.
She'll show you on the screen. You'll be able to see where it is.
Right. Okay. So do you see my screen now?
Yes. I do.
It should be on my profile. Not just because that's how I set up everything. Apparently, that was the last screen that I was on. The Copilot, do you see at the upper right-hand corner this little symbol, the bluish symbol?
Upper right-hand corner. Let me see. Yes, I see that.
And apparently, when I hover over it, the Copilot, and click on it, the Copilot right here shows up. So that would be the first thing you would look for. See, find that little icon, and then just hover on it and click on it, and you should get this box. One of the and you can take this. There's a right along here. There's a separation between your website and Copilot, and you just hover on it until you get this double-headed arrow. Do you see that?
Yes.
This is how you can make it larger and smaller. If you need to.
Okay.
Yeah. That can be helpful. So the reason why I like to use Copilot is it can connect to the web. So the free version of ChatGPT does not connect to the web unless they've changed it. But my understanding, it still doesn't. You have to pay $20 a month. So that's why I like to use the Copilot, because the underlying AI is the same as ChatGPT. So you'll see at the top, right up here, way at the top, there'll be 3 headings: Chat, Compose, and Insights. And Chat is the one that I use most of the time, but you do have the option of going into Compose, and you can ask it to compose whatever, a letter, email, whatever. And this is pretty much supposed to be designed to be self-explanatory. I don't use this for job searching, so I don't see you using it. Then there's Insights, and this is kind of new because they've changed it. That's the other thing. You may see it changing, so if you start to use Copilot and it looks different from what I have, that's because they're constantly changing it. The Insights just tells you about the page, I think. Here's going to talk about the LinkedIn. I don't really use it. I haven't explored it. I mainly stick with Chat. Another really interesting thing, towards the bottom, you can choose the style. I like to go with the more creative, but you could have it more balanced. Yeah, Carly's laughing. Yeah, I like to have all this crazy stuff just to see what it offers. But you can have it more balanced or more precise. And I believe my impression is the more precise, it's very short and concise. And I like to hear all the other stuff, the good stuff. So that's, you may want to choose what you want. And then at the bottom, this is where you ask your question. Another thing before I get started, off to the right, and they've changed this. You'll see a list of all the ones that I've done before. So it kind of keeps a log of it. But if you were to click on it or hover over it, you can actually edit it or delete it if you wanted to. And this other thing, export it. I haven't done that. I've been doing it a little differently. That's an option if you wanted to have a copy of it. And this is really new for me. It's a plugin. I don't know if this is on offer for the free version. Like, I'm on Windows 365, so that might be, if you don't have it, maybe it's because you don't subscribe to the Windows 365. I don't know if this is offered to everybody. You may or may not have it, but if you do have it, it's more for shopping. That's my impression. So they want you to know what your buying habit is, I think. That's just the way my mind goes. Any questions so far?
I just want to see you use it. So when you type in, for example, the question box.
So for me, like, I'm a little different. I don't use it for writing emails. For a job, what my first instinct is to say if I find a job posting, and I have an example, I will see if the job posting, how I match with it. That's one thing that I would be doing. So what I do, because the job posting are kind of long, I go ahead and copy it and put it on a Word document. The reason why I do that is I want to put the question and then have some spacing. And it's a little hard to do it right in this box. If I was just going to say, how does this job post fit in with my profile? Or does my profile fit in with this job post? If I put it in this box, it may, if I put the question before I get a chance put in the job posting itself, it may start answering before it has all the data. So I like to put it out on Word documents. So this is the overview of Copilot. Now, Copilot can be maybe constantly changing. So what works one day may not work another day. So just be aware that Copilot will be constantly changing. Sometimes even a prompt that you use one day may not work on another day.
So, and all the different platforms work basically the same. Some of the words may change, just like the words have changed over the time that you've been using it, but they all have this query box at the bottom and the very techniques of go write it on another page and paste it in. And those types of things work for any of them.
So let's see. So we're back on my page. This is my profile. And I'm going to go up at the top and have it generate page summary. If you go up the top, sometimes it will give you this summary. It didn't when we first started. This is where you gotta work through its little kinks. I'm going to generate the page summary. It's supposed to give you a summary of what's on the page. I want to make sure it sees my page. So I always do that. Make sure it sees the page. Because like I say, something will happen or will change or whatever. So I'm just going to do this. And okay, so it's telling me it's seeing my page.
Okay, while it's writing there, I want to just mention When I look at this, I didn't realize that this frame to the side that has Copilot in it will see the active page on the left and will recognize it without having to say, putting in a URL or something like that. And that's something I didn't expect. I've heard you talk about doing these things, but I never saw how to do it. So this is really
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah, that's funny because I didn't think about doing a LinkedIn. I just thought, okay, it should be able to see the page, and I have to be on that page. So so I see it got my name and it went through everything. So it's seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, let's see. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the job posting that I pulled. And like I said before running this, I put it on Word document to kind of spell out what I want it to do. For me, if I start asking and then try to paste it, sometimes it hits answer before I get a chance to paste it, the profile or the posting. I'm going to go back to my Word document and copy it. So at the top, I said, here's a job posting I found. When comparing the profile that you see, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put,
Use those words that you see.
I'm going to put my name so that way it references to my name. I'm still on the same chat page. I'm going to change it when comparing Veronique's profile against this job posting down below. Would you say the profile is a good fit for the job? And
This is fascinating.
Yeah, here's the other thing about prompts. They call this prompts. You ask it a question. And I tend to start off, I tend to like to be very general, just see what it gives me. The serendipity type thing. What will it give me? Because you never know. There's a lot of things going on, you don't know about it. And maybe a generalized question will unearth the stuff that's going on. Here I felt I need to be a little more specific. And I went ahead and put my name, because it just mentioned my name up here. And then job posting. Hopefully I was specific enough and that it will recognize. I'm going to put.
So Veronique, I just want to say, I don't find this very helpful. Just because in order for me to activate this function, you're using an example of a job post that I would have had to paste in there myself, at which point I would have visually scanned it and made up my mind. So doing this exercise is not helpful.
Okay.
But it would be more helpful if there's a way to include, and I'm not sure if it is possible based on what you've been sharing so far, to say what are the top, let's say, 10 jobs that fit my LinkedIn profile. And if it could scan the internet for that, that would be useful.
Okay, so let's try that then.
Is that something you think that this program can do?
So okay. Now, okay, we got my profile up. Let's see. I'm going to say, can you list the top 10 jobs that you would think this profile would fit? Something like that?
Yeah, is that how you can make it do that search or something? Or that, I mean, yes, just that's exactly pretty much what I would put in there.
Are you looking for job titles or actual listings?
So, I mean, I guess you could specify either or. You could do one question that does job titles or job descriptions.
Why
I
don't
would
we
be
start
happy
with job
both.
titles?
Title that you think this profile fits. That works for you?
Sure,
Yeah.
let's try that for now.
Okay, so let's.
I also am a little skeptical about
So
this
it tells
search
me-
because it sounds like it would be matching financial analyst to anywhere, any appearances of financial analyst.
So certainly based on the information on the LinkedIn profile, it went through it. Now it's giving me the top 10 potential.
Okay, I have a question here. Have you,
Sure.
did it just pull names off of your list, or is it actually, these are not titles you've had?
Data analyst is not on my thing. Business intelligence specialist is not there. Risk management, the ones that I have are financial analyst, project controller. The rest it made, it kind of inferred that I might be a fit for.
Okay.
Yeah, there are two occurrences of the word data in your caption.
Well, I use the word data, but typically data analysts don't, I don't really have a background like the Python. Now, I just recently got Python, but I don't have the SQL, so it doesn't really say I worked as a data analyst. It's really very heavily based on finance. So the fact that I have the word data and data visualization, kind of, okay, it made that inference. So yes, going in that direction.
Okay. One of the things I'm liking here is after each one, it says why it thinks this is suited to her and which part of it, which I think are
Agreed.
very
And also-
useful things to figure out how do you present yourself if you're applying to any of these roles, as you
Right,
I have
and then-
strengths in
and
these.
other possible titles that, you know, in let's say in a future employment, she could have as titles.
Say that again.
You know, kind of like asking, like inviting you to think outside your typical way of thinking regarding
Right. That's why I like
title
to
searching.
use this because it gives me ideas that I would have never thought of. And I didn't get a chance to read, but yes, Carly, you're right. It does tell you why. Sometimes it gives you the reasoning behind it. And if you'll notice at the bottom, it kind of tells you the links, which is basically my profile, but it will give you links of where, what it might have pulled information from. So I've been using it as a way of generating ideas. But you're right. Now that I have this list, I feel more comfortable going out. Okay, data analyst. Because I have done a lot of this stuff. Business intelligence specialist, which I might be able to do now because it's telling me that it could be a potential. So it doesn't have to be with a LinkedIn profile. You could put in your resume, but you're going to have to put it in as part of your question. I just happen to use my LinkedIn because I can use it as a web page. But your resume, if you feel comfortable with using your LinkedIn profile, or you rather use your resume, here's my resume. What are the top 10 titles?
Okay.
Is there a limit to how many words you can put in there?
I'm thinking 2,000 right here, characters. See at the corner, 0 slash that, and then let's see. See where it says 8 of 30 right here?
Yeah.
I have maybe 30 questions to ask.
So is that per day or what?
That I'm thinking per chat.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, this chat. So I would have to do a new one. I think maybe refresh. I don't know. That's
well,
it
thank you for
may
using one of your
they'll give you new ones. they'll give you new ones right away. It's just you have a conversation and you can only ask 29 follow-up questions. And then it will forget this topic and you'd have to introduce the topic again.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
But then you can start over again at some other point or paste your resume in again and just start fresh.
Okay.
The reason for that, I believe, because I've read it in the past, historically in the past when Copilot was first starting, when people would just use the chat for a long time, Copilot would start to get kind of crazy and do really weird, crazy things, maybe get insulting or something. So Microsoft realized that if it goes on for too long, it just goes off the rails. So they cut it off at 30. I think that they felt that was safe before it got weird.
So it's not to limit you, it's to have people not think that they're talking to an insane AI.
Right. And that was the impression that I got. Now, the reasoning may be different today, but that was the genesis of it.
All right, good. Yeah. So kind of like you're thinking, Veronique, before is like, oh, figured they only gave a certain, they capped it because they wanted to make money off of it.
Well, that might be part of it. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I think at this point, it's and the fact that they're not limiting it like they do with the graphic AIs, where you can only do 25 pictures. This, I think, has to do with the functioning of it, and then the monetizing it is something that's always going to be going on. LinkedIn is always changing its rules, and what can we monetize and what can we not monetize, or how else can we leverage the tools that we have.
Does it save it like that you can reference it later on?
Yes, it does save it now. It must have changed. You would see it up here. And this one is not being saved probably because it relates to my LinkedIn profile, personal information. So like, yesterday when I was pulling up something that might have had some personal information, it would tell me, oh, this has the potential to have personal information. This page will not save. It would tell me that message, but it didn't do that today. That's what I mean. It's constantly changing. You just have to go with the flow. I don't think this page will save. Normally it would, and it would show up in here. These are all my saved ones, and I didn't have to do anything. It just saved it. This one I'm thinking, because it relates to my LinkedIn profile, it's not going to save because of personal information. I'm guessing here. I don't know. Oh, I have it on more balance. Okay, let me put it back on creative. That might have been the problem. I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway.
So what does that mean? The responses are in this style? More precise, more balanced, or more creative? Okay. And then there was the other example that we were wanting to try on, which is what job posts would, let's say, what are the top 10 job posts that would suit or match my profile?
Okay, so do you want to do it out in the general web page or out on LinkedIn?
Let's continue using your LinkedIn profile example.
Okay. So let's see. Now I've noticed I lost all of our previous conversation. That's interesting. I can't. Did you see that? I don't have. And it went back up to 4,000. So.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah. So
is there a back button?
There's no back button. Yes.
I'm curious.
Every day is a new thing for me. So that's one thing. Which is why trying to teach people, you just have to teach how to get comfortable and use it and then go with the flow. So
And you can't do anything wrong and you can't break it. And that's the biggest thing to remember. And if it didn't work, try something else,
right.
Okay.
which is different from a lot of other things.
It might actually create a new generation of people who's used to going with the flow, getting creative. A lot of us older ones have learned to just stick by the rules, so may not have the initially, I would say, may not have the ability to kind of go with the flow or dream up different things because we're used to going by the rules. I'm just speculating, so.
Yeah.
Let me ask that question about top 10 posting. Let's see if that works. I'm going to do it from my profile. It may not work because the job posting page is supposed to do that for you when you put in your search. But let's just try it from here. I'm on my profile page. Top 10. Top. Move. I'm going to say based upon my profile, just to see what it does. Can you list out the top 10? I'm just double checking top 10 posting based upon my profile. I'm going to see what it does. I'm pretty much an explorer, experimenter with this type of thing. I'm going to hit enter and see. Let's see. I've got it under creative. I think what happened was I went from more balance to creative, and that's why I lost all the other stuff. Now, you remember when I said we lost everything? I think it was when I went from more balance to more creative. I remember seeing that. Now,
If you switch back to more balance, would it still be referenced? Something you can reference?
no, you'll get references. Why is this? Why's my screen? Okay, let's see. Hello, okay, job posting. So it kind of went off on something else. I didn't tell it go through LinkedIn, but it said according to web search results, some of the best job posting sites for employers are ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Glassdoor, Mighty Recruiter, haven't heard of that one, Career Builder, and Monster. Interesting, it didn't say LinkedIn. So it kind of gives me, so it says to find the top 10 postings for your profile, you can use these sites. Okay, so it didn't give me, but it tells me where to go. I wonder, were you interested in job postings for LinkedIn? Maybe I need to get specific. Are you willing to try that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try that. Let's see if that works. So I asked it to look specifically at LinkedIn job posting and find the top 10 job postings for this profile. That's interesting. It won't let me do that. I'm in my own personal, so there's something about it that won't.
Okay, so they've cut that out. This is when we were talking about what is Microsoft monetizing of whether they're restricting right now, which they obviously are. They want to be able to have this be a premium feature or parts of it. Because for a long time they've had the, for a premium feature, these are top jobs you might be interested in based on your profile. I recall that being there.
Okay, so what I'm saying is I'd like to use the content that we've already created, which is either your LinkedIn profile or your resume, and ask this program to find the top job postings that match.
I think it's not going to find job postings.
Okay, that's the point.
A programmer has told it not to
help.
A programmer has told it not to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're letting Recruiter, Indeed, Glassdoor hold those, and they're not going to mess around and pull in their job postings. I think that's what it's not going to do.
Yeah, those would be competing with Microsoft and LinkedIn if it was sending you to Indeed and to Monster and some of these other ones. So
okay, so then ChatGPT would be impartial, right?
Not necessarily, because they're mainly Google might be different.
Okay, so that's
Google's Gemini.
I'm looking for AI to do that, but I guess I'm being too idealist.
Another thing would be, what are companies, like if you have a specialized field, like financial analysts, a lot of companies need those. But if you had a specific skill set, like tennis instructor or some sort of a healthcare niche, you might say what companies are hiring people with these job titles.
Oh, sure. That could be another way to get it to do something more productive.
And even if they don't have a posting right now, these might be companies worth contacting.
Why don't we try?
Right. Yeah.
What kind of job posting or job position would you be looking for?
Well, so I don't want to limit it to job title, but what I'm looking for is an environment of DE&I, and where there's employee development, working in either humanitarian or sustainable initiatives. Yeah. So, and then, whatever skills that I have, which are generally executive assistant, as well as, kind of proposing certain ideas for maybe systems or, just kind of think tank, I guess. Teamwork is super important.
I'm trying to copy this. I'm going to put this in Word so I can organize what you said.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think this is one of the types of problems that we're running into as probably one of the most confusing things about trying to learn to use this.
Right.
And because it doesn't work like a search engine.
No, it constantly changes.
And to recognize, people forget that it's a computer program and that somebody is telling it what it can and cannot do and what data it can or cannot look at.
Right.
And so it's not like talking to a person, oh, come on, you can tell me,
Right.
I cannot do that, Dave. It's just, I can't do that. Somebody told, I've been told not to.
Yeah. Which is where I get into, okay, you need to play around with it and get familiar with it.
And the idea of you have to play around with it is very foreign for a lot of people. Yeah, I think the younger you are, the more you're used to that.
Yeah. The younger you are, because they're starting to train you to think for yourself, to explore, and that's something I naturally do. But for those where you had to sit in a classroom with line death and you regurgitate back what your teacher tell you.
Yeah.
It just scrubbed out all the exploration.
Yeah.
I'm just copying.
And it's not the reason, at least it's coming back and telling you what you can do. Go to these sites, try this, try that, which is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But it does not tell you why it can't do it. It's not in our business model. It's not going to say.
Well, and then I'm going to tell you, well, we want to reserve it for money-making purposes. No way. I mean, think about it. Coming from Microsoft,
Yeah.
People immediately go, demon, evil company. So, okay. So let's see. I'm going to copy what I've written and then read it out so that way you can say yay or nay or alter the phrasing, but at least we'll get started. All right. Copy, paste it here, and what I have is, can you list at least 10 companies in humanitarian or sustainable arena with an environment of D&I and lots of employee development? At cherry on the top, have lots of executive assistant roles that allows for more creative problem solving, such as proposing certain ideas. The company could even be a think tank. How's that? What do you want to add, change, or does it?
Okay, keep your microphone up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we can use it for purposes of this demonstration.
Okay. Yeah, and you can always, on your end, you can always try and tweak it a little for what you want.
That's a very intricate question, far more than I would think of putting in.
Oh, it said that's a very specific and interesting request. That's interesting. And it's kind of giving me some caveat. I cannot guarantee that they have assistant roles available. But it's listing out some companies, and we can copy this.
So you could further narrow this down to things in a specific zip code or city as well.
Right. Yeah, this looks interesting.
This is a very good one.
Yeah, because her request was very neat. It was really, I love that request, and therefore it really kind of, wonder why my, so down here you can give your opinion and you can download it or export it. I'm not sure what it does. I think I've tried it once. I guess it's okay. I'm going to copy it and then put it on the Word document so I can send it to you.
It looks like those sites where it says learn more are where that information got pulled from.
Yeah, I'm copying and let's go back. Yeah, this is where down here, the site. So if I click on this, it'll go right to it. And then it's pulled from here. So I'm saving. Let's see. When I saved it, did it save the link? No, it didn't. Let me see if exporting it exports the links for you. This down arrow is the export. I'm going to export it. But it has PDF or Word. Let's do Word, just so that way you can alter it, add your notes to it.
Does this download the entire conversation or just this last part?
That's what I want to see. I think this one is probably just what it said.
Okay.
But there's one, if you move this up here, which, oh, here it is, job search tips. This page, I think this is the one, and then you click and you can export the whole thing.
Okay.
That's my thinking. I haven't really used it. Yeah, it downloaded what it said, and let's see at the bottom, and it gives you the link, so I can
It
send
does
it.
get the links.
Give it to send it to Laura.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
way
what
she
I-
doesn't.
Okay. What I learned from this one is that the more specific you can do it and write it like you're talking to a person who you think would know the answer. And you don't want to hear them give the wrong answer, so you have to be very specific. I want it to have this and this and this and this, and they're not going to get bored listening to your list of wants. And then you have your best chance of getting good response from it.
Yeah, I think like for Laura, this would be like right where her arena is.
Yeah.
Because she can get very specific on what she wants or needs. I think she mentioned about the tone of her, one of the job posting that she'd like.
Yeah.
It would be an interesting experiment where I need you. I don't know if it would work, but can you find companies that have these qualities that you can find in this posting? And the reason why I like it is because, something like she can get
Okay.
very specific, maybe have a particular post and say why you like it.
Okay.
And then find something similar. That would be an experiment to do.
Okay, that would be really interesting. So
And
that would be a
yeah,
good one to try.
So it gave her, and then she can drill down, maybe say Oxfam. Maybe big companies, she might, okay, I want to find companies like Oxfam, but smaller in this
Right.
area. Kind of drill down using
Okay.
Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever her preference is.
Yeah.
That's how I use it.
Okay. But I've already learned so much from this because I tend to stick with rather short sentences, and I've not been very happy with what comes back. So that the answer is be more specific. And it could be several paragraphs worth of information, not just.
Yeah, I would be cautious depending. Like if it's very technical, you might want to give it in bite-sized pieces.
Okay, so you give a paragraph and then do follow-ups. Is a better strategy.
Follow up with,
Okay.
Yeah. Short sentences won't give you everything, but for me, there's the serendipity. It tells me stuff. Why did it give me this?
Right.
And I'm not the type that will explore. I'll go in and I'll explore. I'll use Google to explore sometimes just to keep the.
Yeah.
So the AI doesn't know what I'm getting at. So I don't want it to know what I'm thinking. So I'll use Google, and then it's just a way of making sure it doesn't try.
So explain why you say that, because that's an interesting comment.
Right. That's the other thing I would say. Why did you say that? Yeah.
You actually ask it. Why did you tell me that?
Right. Or what? Or if I ask, give me, I don't know, top 5 skills, and if it just lists the skills but doesn't tell me why, I'll say, well, why did you say this?
Okay.
It doesn't always tell you why. We just got lucky earlier on.
But sometimes it does.
That's why I get fascinated with this, because it leads you down to such interesting paths. You just like, okay, why is it doing this? Oh, that's interesting. I've never thought of it that way.
Right.
And that's why I like listening to Laura, because she comes up with something very different. So
And very specific. So do you have another question?
Well, I just want to say thank you both for your time on this. I really appreciate you, going through this experience and demonstrating how you use Copilot. And I'm going to go ahead and try to experiment on my own, see what
Yeah.
that elicits. And so I just want to go ahead and probably use this as well. This tool, experiment and mess around with it. Like I'll do things that are just like off the bat as well. Like what's the easiest way to I don't know, fight a parking ticket, or what is the actual name of, I don't know, whoever. Just really silly things like that. What's the easiest way to avoid having static electricity in my laundry? I don't know, just some silly things like that. See how it behaves.
Yeah,
Those are good ones to just play with and get used to what it does and doesn't do. And it doesn't have the weight of, then while you were away, Veronique suggested you could also take of this job posting that you liked. You want to explain what you said on that? Of how
yeah,
she could
go
be
ahead,
sure?
go ahead.
Okay. She had said to say, I really like this job posting because of, and give several reasons. Can you find me, where would I find others like this? Or, is there a way that you can get around its work? I'm going to go find, what other companies write letters like this in this style? Rather than go find me a job listing because it's been told not to do that. But you could say, what other ones write job postings in this style? And it probably will answer you. Because the object is to find the companies. So, well, this was really interesting, Veronique. Thank you.
Well, thank you for asking, and thank you for bearing with my trying to convey what little I know. I mean, there's so much to it. And like I say, it's constantly changing. So
Yeah.
it will throw you surprises.
And so just knowing that is huge. And it's like, it's the system, it's evolving, they're learning how to program it, it's learning how to do what it's doing, and everything's moving. But so it's not what you expect from a computer. Nor is it what you expect from a person. It's some other thing.
Right.
So this has been quite a learning experience. Thank you.